FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
When I was in the end stage of my addiction, I got caught up with a woman who sold drugs for a living. And we were a horrible mix. I became her business manager, sort of ruined her tidy little Coke business. I lost my job as a journalist. And we would have gone our separate ways, but for the fact that we had these kids together. And so you've got two people, both functional addicts, with twin baby girls who were born 2.5 months premature, and fill in the blanks. It was a horror show. So she would leave or I would leave, and whoever was there was like with these kids. And one night she was gone, and I was there with the kids, and this, by my recollection, is what happened. I remember driving to a dark spot between the streetlights at the rounded off corner of West 32nd and Garfield. That's in Minneapolis. Right here, I thought that would be fine. The Nova junker with the bad paint job my brother brought me out of pity shuddered to a stop, and I saw two sleeping children in the rear view, the fringe of their hoods emerging in the outline against the back seat as my eyes adjusted to the light. Teeny tiny, itty bitty. The girls were swallowed by the snowsuits. We should not have been there, but I was fresh out. I had nothing. I called Kenny. Anna was out, and I could not bear to leave them home, but I was equally unable to stay put. So here we were, one big happy family parked outside the dope house. Then came the junkie math. If I went inside the house, I could get what I needed in 5 or 10 minutes tops. The twins would sleep, dreaming their little baby dreams where their dad is an iceman, where the car rides end in a playground. The people inside would be busy working, mostly in pairs. Serious coke shooting is something best done together. The objective is to walk right up to the edge of an overdose without actually dying. Technique was to push the plunger in slow, but large. One would be pushing, watching as the other listened to the interior sound of blood and nerves brought to a boil. Are you good? Yes. No. Just, oh, that's perfect. Kenny's lip-licking coke rap was more ornate and somehow more satisfying than most of the dealers I worked with. His worldview was all black helicopters and white noise, the whispering, unseen others who would one day come for us. Sort of kept me on my toes. But tonight I had company. I certainly couldn't bring the twins in. Even in the gang I ran with, coming through the doors of the dope house swinging 2 occupied baby buckets was not done. Sitting there in the front seat, the car making settling noises against the chill, I decided that my teeny tiny girls would be safe, that God would look after them while I did not. I got out, locked the door, and walked away. Inside, a transformation, almost a kidnapping, got underway. The guilty father was replaced by a junkie, no different from the others sitting there. Time passed, one thing begat another, and eventually I was thrown clear. Leaving, I remember that. Out the metal door, and out the front door with its 3 bolts onto the porch, and the hollow sound of my boots on the wood floor. A pause. How long had it been, really? Hours, not minutes. I walked toward the darkened car with drugs in my pocket and a cold dread in all corners of my being. I cracked the front door, reached around, unlocked the back, and leaned in. I could see their breath. So, God had looked after the twins and by proxy me, but I realized at that moment that I was in the midst of a transgression He would not easily forgive. I made a decision never to be that man again.